Oh, you're not going to believe this, but the walls of Montecito's most chaotic castle are practically shaking right now. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, honey, they're not just hitting a rough patch. They're dangling over the edge of a brand meltdown so loud you can almost hear it from across the ocean. The once glossy fairy tale couple, the post-royal power players who thought they'd take over Hollywood, are now being whispered about like a slow-motion car crash. And let's be real, everyone saw it coming except them. So here's the tea. Meghan's big passion project, the second season of her carefully packaged little venture, is supposedly set to drop soon. You'd expect Netflix to be rolling out the red carpet, teasers, hype, promo blasts. But nope. Crickets, silence, nothing. And that, darling, is rare for Netflix, a company that knows how to hype even the driest of content. If the studio itself won't even pretend to believe in your show, well, what does that tell you? Insiders are whispering that the streaming giant has practically shut the money tap. No meaningful funding, no big marketing budget. Meghan's inability to handle even the most basic logistics is apparently making the entire situation worse. And honestly, she's built this whole empire on selling herself, her image, her lifestyle, her so-called dream. But here's the question. What happens when the public doesn't dream about you anymore? When instead of fantasizing, they just roll their eyes, and roll their eyes they have. Every time Meghan pops up with another staged attempt at relatability, she manages to alienate more people. Like that homey Instagram cooking video. Oh, she clearly thought she was giving Gwyneth Paltrow vibes, cozy and aspirational. But in reality, awkward, forced, robotic. Critics weren't just unimpressed, they were baffled. It was like watching someone try to sell joy while clearly not feeling any themselves. And guess what? It's not just about awkward videos anymore. Behind the scenes, vendors haven't been paid, orders are unfulfilled, and refunds non-existent. Customers are waiting, frustrated, some furious. It's no longer just poor management, it's spiraling into a full-blown reputational disaster. People don't forget when they hand over money and get ghosted. And it stings even more when the seller is a multi-millionaire ex-royal who preaches empowerment but can't handle basic customer service. Meanwhile, where's Harry in all of this chaos? Nowhere to be found. He's not promoting Meghan's series, not showing up in press releases, not standing by her side. Some insiders say this was Netflix's plan. They wanted the two to separate professionally. Meghan was supposed to be the relatable star, the one with market appeal. But without Harry propping things up, she's floundering. And let's be honest, Harry's never been cut out for this world anyway. Branding, profits, business deals, that's not his lane. He grew up in a palace, not a boardroom. Expecting him to swoop in and save this collapsing empire? Pure fantasy. And here's where it gets even darker. The brand isn't just collapsing. The marriage is under strain too. People close to them whisper that the toxicity isn't one-sided. It's not a case of one stormy personality and the other bringing calm. No, this is imbalance, combustion, two people spiraling together with no one strong enough to pull the other back. Suppliers are already refusing to work on future runs because the current bills haven't been paid. Some customers who managed to place orders haven't received a single thing, not even a reply. Total radio silence. And let's be real, when your vendors, your customers, and your fans all feel duped, there's no celebrity sparkle strong enough to cover it up. Rob Shooter even spilled the tea on Substack, flat out saying Meghan and Harry's brand is hanging by a thread. And he's not alone. Multiple insiders are describing their entire business world as a total mess. No leadership, no structure, no financial plan. Some people are even daring to ask the question, is this just wild incompetence or an outright scam? Either way, it's a train wreck. And the worst part? Netflix isn't playing the supportive partner anymore. Remember how that deal was once their golden ticket? Now the honeymoon is long gone. Netflix has done the math. They've seen the backlash, the tanking numbers, and the endless controversies. And their response? Pull back quietly. Meghan may still have projects in motion, but without promotion, without funding. It's like Netflix is just letting her fail slowly rather than deal with the drama of publicly cutting her loose. Behind the scenes, the whispers about Meghan's personality are brutal, controlling, dismissive, out of her depth. People who've worked with her say she doesn't listen, doesn't take advice, and mistakes confidence for competence. She thinks branding is just about pretty packaging, forgetting that charisma alone doesn't pay invoices or deliver products. And let's not forget her carefully polished image as the misunderstood underdog, the brave woman speaking truth to power. That story worked once, but now it's crumbling. Between her feuds with family, ex-staffers running for the hills, and one PR disaster after another, even her old fans are losing patience. Ambition is one thing. Throwing everyone under the bus as you climb is another. The brutal gossip going around sums it up best. Meghan's trying to sell brain surgeon textbooks to people who haven't even finished basic biology. That's how disconnected her brand feels from reality. Aspirational? Number out of touch? Absolutely. And oh, that cooking video, meant to be charming, ended up joyless. Meghan going through the motions, pretending to love something she clearly doesn't. Instead of selling food, lifestyle, or inspiration, it sold one thing only: awkwardness. Lady Campbell didn't hold back either. With her usual razor-sharp delivery, she called Meghan someone who climbed using both horizontal and vertical talents but never learned how to stay up there. Ouch. Brutal, yes, but her point was clear. Meghan's rise was all image, no substance. And now that the cracks are showing, there's nothing left to hold it all together. And darling, that's only the beginning. And if you thought unpaid vendors and awkward videos were bad enough, oh no, honey, the storm clouds only get darker, because the most alarming whispers aren't just about business partners being stiffed. They're about ordinary customers, people, regular folks who placed orders through Meghan's oh-so-exclusive brand, and guess what? Nothing ever arrived. No follow-up, no refunds, not even a sorry excuse of an email, just silence. Let's be real, this is dangerous territory. It's one thing if you can't pay suppliers on time, but when everyday buyers start sharing stories about unfulfilled orders and feeling scammed, that's not just bad PR, that's legally shady. The kind of mess that can shut down a business overnight. And pile that onto Meghan's sinking likability, a crumbling marriage dynamic, and a streaming partner that's basically given up? Darling, that's not just a bump in the road, it's commercial extinction in the making. And then there's Harry, bless him, wandering around like a lost soul in his own fog. Every appearance he makes feels less genuine and more performative, like a man clinging to relevance without knowing how. The desperation is almost painful. Remember that so-called private letter he wrote in tribute to Prince Philip? Somehow, it just happened to end up in the press. Oh, please. The story was spun as heartfelt, but the timing? Oh, it was too neat. Right when Meghan's series needed attention. Coincidence? No one's buying that. And here's the kicker. If that letter was truly private, why leak it? The public saw right through it. Instead of sympathy, it stirred irritation. Because let's not forget, Meghan and Harry allegedly disrespected Philip during his final days. To then use his memory for PR, tone deaf doesn't even cover it. Offensive is more like it. And speaking of PR stunts, there was that laughable story floating around about Hugh Grosvenor, the Duke of Westminster, trying to play peacemaker. Supposedly, he was going to name both William and Harry as godfathers to his daughter, as some grand act of reconciliation. Sounds sweet, doesn't it? Except people who actually know the royals said it was pure fantasy. Hugh is fiercely loyal to William. The firm considers Harry toxic now. The very idea that someone would hand over spiritual guidance of their child to two feuding brothers, one of whom has repeatedly trashed the family in public, is beyond absurd. The truth, William wants nothing to do with Harry anymore. That bridge is burned, maybe forever, and it's not just the interviews or Harry's tell-all book, it's the betrayal of trust. Every time Harry opens his mouth, another private family matter goes up in flames. Even longtime friends like Hugh Grosvenor are backing away, keeping Harry at arm's length. That alone tells you everything. Meanwhile, Meghan has her own skeletons rattling louder than ever. Remember all those palace staff who signed airtight NDAs? Well, let's just say there's fury brewing behind those gag orders. If those legal walls ever come down, insiders claim more than 100 people could come forward with first-hand accounts of Meghan's behavior. And baby, the stories aren't pretty. We're talking mistreatment, humiliation, and diva-like tantrums that would make Hollywood's biggest egos blush. One story in particular has been making the rounds. Meghan allegedly berating a staffer over an ironing issue, throwing fabric back at them in disgust. Can you imagine? This isn't just gossip about someone being a little demanding. It paints a picture of a woman who chews people up and spits them out. And when you're trying to sell yourself as the queen of empowerment and grace, being branded as a nightmare boss with a trail of scorched earth staff is a PR death sentence. And let's not forget the money, or rather, the lack of it. The world may see Meghan and Harry living like royalty, but insiders insist their cash flow is shaky at best. Their lifestyle screams millionaire, but their accounts? Not quite. Big projects require big money. And according to those in the know, Meghan and Harry simply don't have it. That's why suppliers aren't getting paid. That's why products aren't being shipped. That's why even the basics of their so-called empire are collapsing. There's no emergency stash, no war chest, just smoke and mirrors. Image may buy you a glossy magazine spread, but it doesn't pay invoices, and Meghan and Harry are finding that out the hard way. So where does that leave them? With a fading brand, a fractured marriage, angry vendors, disappointed fans, and a swelling narrative that screams, this isn't a fairy tale couple anymore. It's a cautionary tale. The once dazzling Montecito dream is starting to look like a nightmare, and unless something drastic changes, the ending won't be a comeback, it'll be a collapse. And trust me, the whispers behind closed doors are already writing that final chapter. Not as a story of triumph, but as one of Hollywood's fastest and most embarrassing implosions.